Hello, my brush lads, lasses, and everybody in between. My name is Tyler, and continuing on from our earlier episode is me and Andrew.
Hi.
Which we haven't done in the longest time.
Yeah, it's weird, but in a good way.
Yeah, and we're even going to be recording, we're going to be on the same episode of Commander Coliseum.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done in a while.
I'm looking forward to
I haven't demoralized you on camera in the longest time. Anyway.
Yeah, the last set of 1v1 games was pretty bad for me, though.
But anyway, this is going to be part 2, continuing from our last Taps for 2, where we got a set booster box for Forgotten Realms, and we've been cracking them, talking about the interesting rares and art styles and cards and stuff, and we opened up half the box on part 1, and we're going to open up the second half of the box now.
Yeah.
And it just kind of devolved into me telling Andrew I want to trade him for stuff.
Yeah, did we mention that this box was all mine?
Here's the art card for that Spine of the World.
Oh, I could probably just throw that in as a basic mountain.
Oh,
I didn't know there was a Manticore.
Yeah, it's just called Manticore.
Did you want that?
Oh, yeah, I'll take that basic lens you don't need. Like we had talked about in the last episode, every one of these packs has this alternate art showcase card, where it's a creature from the set, but done in like that old Dungeon Master style, or that old Dungeon...
D&D?
D&D, thank you. That old D&D monster manual style. So this one I've got Goblin Javelineer, who boy, that is one ripped goblin.
Oh my god.
It is red.
Scred. It's a list card.
Oh, yeah, no, I actually need a copy of that.
Well, I'll throw that in the pot. I got 2 rares in this pack. I got Flumph.
Flumph. I love Flumph.
And,
want to read what Flumph does?
Yeah,
I don't think we've opened one yet.
Flumph is an 0/4 jellyfish for 1 and a white. Has Defender and Flying.
A jellyfish in white.
When it is dealt damage, you and target opponent each draw a card. Also, the other rare is a Serac.
Is a Serac worth anything?
I don't actually know.
Do you need a copy of it?
I think I do actually need a copy for...
I'll open them up later. This pack, I've got a foil, I've got a list card, and I've got your rare. Lair of the Hydra. So you've got the man land that turns into a Hydra.
Nice.
They have the whole cycle of man lands that are one in each color. They all enter untapped unless you have 2 or more other lands. They tap for their respective colors. In this case, taps for green. And for X and green, this one becomes an XX green Hydra until end of turn. It is still a land. X cannot be 0.
I actually don't need a Serac.
Nice.
He is 650.
There's that. You've got a foil, Kalain, Reclusive Painter, who I'm just now noticing is a human elf bard.
Yeah, and they're painting a Displacer Beast.
Yeah, so black and red for a 1/2 human elf bard, legendary. When they enter the battlefield, you make a treasure token, and other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them for each mana from a treasure that you spent to cast them. And the list card is really good in black decks. Victimize. 2 and a black, sorcery. Choose 2 target creatures in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature, and if you do, return return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped.
Nice.
It is a good card.
It's a 2 for 1.
Yeah, well, it's a 2 for 2, because you're giving up Victimize.
That's true.
But the fact that the creatures go onto the battlefield is amazing. I think you're going to be real happy with the foil in this pack.
Sweet. Chittering skeletons.
Oh, here's the art card for the alternate art for Lair of the Hydra.
That's the module looking.
Yeah,
card.
that's the module one. My showcase is Ruinor Battlehammer, who I guess is actually from like D&D books. Like I guess he's actually a character, like Drizzt, and just a real wide lad. He's like, look at that boy.
He's a mini fridge.
2 red white for a 5/3 dwarf warrior legendary. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it, and you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equip ability you activate each turn.
I got fighter class.
Fighter class? What's it do?
Let's see, it is one of the class cards, as you might have guessed. When fighter class enters, search your library for an equipment, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And then for the first level, for level 2, equip abilities you activate cost 2 less to activate. And level 3, whenever a creature you control attacks, up to 1 target creature blocks it this combat if able.
So, I've got a foil rare and a non-foil mythic. Which do you want first?
The foil.
Grazilax, the Lithid Scholar.
There we go.
1 blue, 3/2 legendary horror. When a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. It being the creature that got blocked. And whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Yeah.
And the mythic is Flame Skull.
What's Flame Skull?
1 red for a 3/1 skeleton, which I think is hubris because it's just a skull. He's got flying. He cannot block because he doesn't have any body to do it with.
Yeah.
And rejuvenation. When he dies, exile him. If you do, you exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play one of those cards.
So either the skull or the card at exile.
Yeah. But if you play one, obviously you can't. Oh, no, that'll go here.
You can't get the other one.
You can't get the other. So, I've seen a lot of people, like, really, really digging on him. Not really my playstyle, but I get it.
It's a red card.
It is the most red card to ever. Oh my god. The art card that I got is for the module of the Black Man Land that turns into the Beholder.
Yeah.
And Hive of the Eye Tyrant. It's hilarious. That's a...
And then I got Mimic alternate art. Very neat.
For this one, I think we've mentioned the Mimic multiple times, but have never actually said what it does.
Yeah. So let's see. It is an artifact treasure for 2 mana. Tap and sacrifice it. Add 1 mana of any color, as a treasure normally would do. Or you can pay 2. Mimic becomes a shapeshifter artifact creature with base power and toughness 3/3 for the turn.
I think you're going to be real happy with this pack.
I pulled Basilisk.
Which
I'm sad to say does not look like the bulbous monstrosities from Dark Souls.
I'm glad. I hate them.
And there's white.
So we got two rares and then a foil in this pack. The foil is a common. But the first rare is Loyal Warhound. 1 and a white for a 3/1 dog with vigilance. And when he enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for basic planes and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle.
That's a good white card.
And it's a real shame that it only gets basic lands because you can't go grab this treasure vault.
Ooh, that's the one that just makes treasures, isn't it?
Artifact land comes in untapped, taps for colorless, and for XX, tap and sacrifice it, make X treasures.
Oh, I know what deck that's going in.
Oh, and then the foil is just Shocking Grasp, which is 1 and a blue, instant. Target creature gets -2/-0 until end of turn, draw a card, and flavor text. Metal Armor, a poor choice.
I love how the card called white is black. I know why that is, but it's just funny to say, oh, this card is white. It's black.
I do dig that. That's funny. Oh, snap. We got a little bit of spice in here. So the art card that I got is Gelatinous Cube. And it's got the stat block for the Gelatinous Cube on the back. We got a foil forest. I'll give you the...
I'm pretty sure I've gotten 3 Baleful Beholders, and all of them have been the alternate art.
Well, you got the foil one from our box that was the regular art.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. Temple of the Dragon Queen.
Ooh.
In the I like these modular lands. I think those are really cool.
It's really
where
cool.
they look like the D&D modules of yesteryear.
I like how they're all lands, because of course they would be. Oh, foil mimic in the alternate art.
Now, how many mimics have we pulled? Specifically, how many foil mimics have we pulled?
I don't know. A couple.
We've gotten a lot.
Man, it's like a dungeon, but when your DM hates you, and it's like none of the treasures are real. They're all monsters.
So we got another manland as the rare here. Cave of the Frost Dragon. So it, same as the others, comes in tapped unless you have fewer than 2 other lands. So if this is your first or second land in the game, then it comes in untapped. Tapped for white, and for 4 and a white, it turns into a 3/4 white dragon with flying until end of turn. It is still a land.
Cool.
And put that with the rares. And then a foil Shortcut Seeker. 3 and a blue. Ooh, excuse me. 3 and a blue for a 2/5 human rogue, and when he deals combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. I think I told you about this. I did a traditional Adventures in the Forgotten Realm draft on Arena, and I ended up with like 4 of these. And Homeboy does work. He gets in there.
We got Teleportation Circle.
That's a good one.
Isn't that just Conjurer's Closet?
Conjurer's Closet, but it's colored and it's an enchantment.
Yeah, at the beginning of your end step, exile to 1 target artifact or creature, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. We also have Ochre Jelly.
It's bad. I want to get one of these Golden Wilds from you. I think we've got 3 of them.
Yeah. Just have it, honestly.
Yeah, so Ochre Jelly, I wish was better than it is, because it's bad. So X and green for a 0/0 ooze with trample, and then it enters with X +1/+1 counters. I wish it ended there, because that would be great. But then it's got split. When it dies, if it had 2 or more 1/1 counters on it, create a token that's a copy of it at the beginning of the next end step. That token enters with half that many +1/+1 counters on it, rounded down. It should make 2 tokens that each have.
Yeah.
Because that's not a split. You just have a smaller jelly now.
Yeah. Tarrasque card.
Nice. We still haven't gotten a Tarrasque yet.
I know, out of all these packs.
All these packs, no Tarrasque. I want to believe that rhymes.
All these flavors, and you choose to be not of Tarrasque.
What? Split the party with the best flavor text in the entirety of this game.
Don't.
Just don't. Split the party. Don't.
Triumphant Adventure. I needed that.
Nothing super spicy here. But we got a list card, and then a rare and a foil. The rare is Delena Wildemage, who is really funny if you partner her with, there's the fairy that has an ability that gives you advantage. So if you would roll a die, you roll an extra one.
Yeah.
And then you get the higher number. So Delena Wildemage, 3 and a red, 3/2, legendary elf shaman. When she attacks, choose target creature you control, can be herself, and then roll a d20. For 1 through 14, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of that creature, except it's not legendary, and it has exile this creature at the end of combat. And if you get 15 to 20, create one of those tokens, and then you roll again. Who she has been errated already to you may roll again. Because otherwise you would just continue. Oh, no, that goes over here. You would just continue to roll. The foil, we got Spiked Pit Trap. 1 mana artifact with flash. And for 5 and tap and sacrifice it, choose target creature, then roll a d20. For 1 through 9, it deals 5 damage to that creature. And for 10 through 20, it deals 5 damage to that creature, and you create a treasure token. And you got a list card. Lashweed Lurker. 8 mana for a 5/4 Eldrazi Horror. With Emerge for 5 green-blue.
Oh, Emerge is such a gross...
So, Emerge, when you cast this spell... Or you may cast the spell by sacrificing a creature and paying the Emerge cost reduced by that creature's converted mana cost. So you could get a 5/4 for green-blue if you sacrifice a 5-drop. And when you cast this, you may put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. I don't know if I should put this in the multicolored pile or the colorless pile.
There's multiple.
I was like, why'd you put it on the rares? It's an uncommon.
It's because I'm stupid.
Smooth brain.
No juice.
Smooth like river rock.
Also, I want to point out this Eliwick emblem. I love the little frog.
Yeah, she's the bard from the party that's with Nadar.
The little frog at her shoulder makes me want to die. It's so cute.
The art card. So we've gotten the regular art Mind Flayer, and we've gotten the alternate art Mind Flayer. So here's the art card Mind Flayer.
Wonderful. The trifecta. There's someone at Wizards who really likes frogs, because we got...
this pack has 3 rares.
We got Frog Samurai in the last set.
So this pack's got 3 rares in it.
Yeah. Let me see them.
What if I didn't, though?
There's not a whole lot I could do, I guess.
So, Drizzt Do'Urden.
It's such a weird name.
Right? 3 green-white for a 3/3 Elf Ranger with Double Strike. He enters the battlefield with Guinevere, a legendary 4/1 green cat creature token with trample. And whenever a creature dies, if it had power greater than Drizzt's power, put a number of +1/+1 counters on Drizzt equal to the difference. Homeboy's got Double Strike. Because I'm sure you're not nearly tired of seeing this guy yet. We also got Zalto, Fire Giant Duke. Is this your 3rd or 4th copy of him?
4th.
3 red for a 7/3 Giant Barbarian with trample, and when he is dealt damage, venture into the dungeon.
There's always just one bulk rare that you just get too many of. Like, for you, it was
Archon of Emeria.
Yeah.
Hand of Vecna.
Cool.
Because it's the eye that we still need, or that I still need, right?
Yeah.
So Hand of Vecna, 3 mana artifact, equipment, legendary. I read that all backwards. At the beginning of combat on your turn, equip creature or a creature you control named Vecna. Which, I want it to be known, if you exile one of these to get Vecna, and then you have a second one of these out, this doesn't need to be equipped to Vecna, but you can get this, because Vecna is going to have the ability, but then this will go off, and you'll basically get 2 hands of Vecna. Because he's got 2 hands!
Catch these hands.
Catch these hands and stick them on. Because in lore or in the game, how you use the eye and the hand, right?
I've never heard of it.
So they're old. They've been around for a while, but if you're playing a game of D&D and you have the eye and or the hand, you can use them. But to use them for the hand, you have to cut off your left hand. And then you stick this thing onto the stump and it will magically graft to it. So knowing that about the hand, guess how you use the eye of Vecna?
The eye is worse.
Yeah, you have to pluck out your eye and replace it with Vecna's.
That might have been referenced in the upcoming Elden Ring. Because one of the very first trailers we saw of it, this guy's shoving a huge cut off arm onto his arm. I got 2 rares in this pack. Real
quick. I've also got a foil. Altar Guard Ranger 4 and a green for a human elf ranger with reach. It's 4/1, and when it enters the battlefield, you make a 2/2 green wolf. So for 5 mana, you get a 4/1 reach and a 2/2 wolf. Cool. And the token is Icing Death, the sword.
Very cool. Circle of Dreams Druid. I literally just traded for that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, now I have one.
Well, now you have 2.
Yeah. Delena Wildemage, who is a 3/2 elf shaman for 3 and a red. Whenever she attacks, choose target creature you control and roll a Oh, you already read this one, didn't you?
Which one is it?
Delena Wildemage.
Yeah, she was the one I just read a little bit ago.
Okay.
She's the one that she had to be like eroded day 1.
I was like, this sounds familiar.
I rated the basic land stack that you had.
Oh, Tiamat art card. Signed.
Oh my god. Usually I'm the one that has all the luck with the signed cards.
There's a foil swamp.
What do we got?
We have Dungeon Descent. And
what's it do?
Dungeon Descent is a land. It enters tapped and it taps for a colorless. You can pay 4 and tap it. Tap an untapped legendary creature you control. Venture into the dungeon. Activate only as a sorcery. It's not awful if you're heavily into the venture mechanic. But other than that, it's kind of just The other one is, how do you say this? Oh, Mordenkainen.
Oh, yeah, Mordenkainen. It's Gary Gygax's player character.
Yeah.
My rare is Vorpal Sword. Actually, why don't you read what Mordenkainen does?
Mordenkainen is a planeswalker for 4 blue. Draw 2, or you can +2 to draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. -2. Create a blue dog illusion creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. Excuse me. -10. Exchange your hand and library, then shuffle. You get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size.
Oh!
So his ultimate is just draw your deck.
Well, no, it's replaced because whatever cards you had, you don't have anymore.
I know.
And so that kind of becomes a game of like, if you already have a whole bunch of cards in hand, then like you're getting rid of them, but you're drawing the rest of your deck, and you've still kind of got a deck. But if you've got no cards in hand, then now now you've got everything. But if you go to draw,
he's the embodiment of that Uno meme that's like pick up the whole deck.
My rare is the Vorpal Sword.
Nice. How much is the normal one?
I don't think this card's worth a ton. But Vorpal Sword, single black, artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has Death Touch. It equips for black. But then for 5 black, until end of turn, Vorpal Sword gains. Whenever the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game.
You can have that one if you want. Thank you.
And my foil is the Owlbear.
I love the Owlbear.
3 green for a 4/4 bird bear with trample and keen senses. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card.
Oh, no more list card. This one just has...
Are you on your last back?
Trash card, yeah. Oh, good. Beholder art card.
Now you can have the whole collection of... Hey, now we got the white dragon.
In alternate art. What is my luck? Yeah, and with Strixhaven, I pulled 2 alternate art Galazeths. Which is stupid.
Kind of anything spicy?
Just monk class.
Oh, it's monk class too.
Monk class. Level 1, the second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. Level 2, when it becomes level 2, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. And level 3, at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. For as long as it remains exiled, it has, you may cast this card from exile as long as you cast another spell this turn. So it actually makes that same card cheaper, because theoretically, it's your second spell.
Yeah. Because the deck that wants to go into, because there's like there's a couple of cards in this set that care about the second spell you cast, or like, so there's Grandmaster, Bahamut, who there's a monk that he cares about, Monk of the Hidden Way or something like that, who has Flurry of Blows that whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So that's kind of like what that deck wants to do.
Do you think this would be any good in Rodan?
Probably.
I think I'm going to put it in Rodan.
Nice. So that's it. We have cracked an entire box between 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the set, Andrew?
I love it. It has a higher percentage of it. I'm not speaking good. I like a higher percentage of it than the last couple sets, I would say. And that's talking about standard sets. I'm not including Double Masters or Modern Horizons 2 or Time Spiral or whatever. Just like Strixhaven, Kaldheim, and I think Zendikar was before Kaldheim.
Yes.
Yeah. I just like more from this set. It's so flavorful, and there are a bunch of cards that I like. I'm building 3 decks from this set, which normally I do 1 or 2. I'm doing Volo, I'm doing Inferno, and I'm doing Sephrus. And there's just a lot of fun. I also wanted to try to put together a dice rolling deck.
Do it.
Where it's just all the dice cards in one deck. Because I think that's like 50 cards or something.
Do it. Black border.
I think I'm going to do it. I think there's one silver border card I wanted to run that's like the Witch of Dice or something. Oh, the Queen of Dice.
No, Duchess of Dice, because it starts with a D.
Yeah. So yeah.
She's that green-blue she's from the same set that A. Cornelia is from.
Yeah. But yeah, fuck. Cut that out.
No. I'm editing this.
I just spilled like a whole stack of cards and cursed. Yeah.
But anyway, that's...
What do you think of the set?
I haven't been this excited for a set, honestly, since Ikoria. I loved Ikoria.
Yeah.
And so, like, even coming from someone that doesn't play a ton of D&D, even though I'm now in a campaign, my partner, Lee, loves D&D, and so I've kind of been showing off these cards to them to see what they think. And so it makes me want to play Dungeons and Dragons more, which, I think is kind of what the set wanted to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a cross-promotion, like promoting themselves. It's like, hey, look what we made. Go play this other thing that we made.
But, like, because we've already had Magic cross into Dungeons and Dragons, because we've got books for Zendikar, we've got books for Theros. I think there's a book for Innistrad.
I think they did one for Strixhaven too.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything, but I don't know. Don't take my word as gospel on that one. But yeah, so I think it's kind of cool to see how we've seen how well Magic translates to D&D. So I think it's kind of cool to see how much D&D translates to Magic. And I like that it kind of turns into, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but a whole lot of fluff. Because, like, a lot of the D&D flavor comes from these, like, from them naming these abilities that these cards have. But it's like, we've had cards that do this before. Like, there's a cleric in this set that, when it enters the battlefield, you pick one of these 3 abilities and you do them. And all the abilities are named. But back in Eldraine, there was the Charming Prince, who, when he enters the battlefield, he's got 3 different abilities and you pick one, but they're not named. Giving the abilities names, already makes it way more flavorful. Because now you're because before it was like, alright, I cast Charming Prince and I scry 2. Whereas now it's like, I play the Cleric and I play Lay on Hand, and I choose Lay on Hands and gain 3 life. I don't even think Lay on Hands is one of its abilities, but,
It's like, you come to a river, choose one, fight the current, or find a crossing.
And each of those are different abilities. But we've had cards like that before. Like, we have Charm. Like, if you print a card that has charm in the name, like you're expecting, like it's going to have multiple abilities and it's going to tell you to pick one. Like how if you have a card that has command in its name, you're going to expect it to give you 4 options and you pick 2. So that's generally what the commands do.
Yeah.
Somebody actually made a joke about that. They did all of the commands as in like kind of the style of the modules, but as like choose your own adventure books.
Oh, that's cool.
But somebody had pointed out that there's Kranko's command, which is just make 2 1/1 red goblins. And so they had fun with it, and so it goes, hey, when you cast this card, pick 2, and it's 4 options that are just make a 1/1 red goblin creature token, but it's that 4 times. And it's like choose your own adventure, like ones of endings await you, because there's only one way that card can play out. What? It's the funniest if I can find it when I'm editing this, I'll toss it up, but it's the funniest thing I've ever seen, where it's just, hey, choose 2. And it's just 4 of the same option of just making a 1/1 red goblin. God. But I think they did an amazing job, like, translating, like, the flavor and the feel of D&D into Magic without having to break too much of Magic's rules.
Yeah, for sure. I think they did a really good job of that.
They did a couple of color pie breaks for, like, the uncommon dragons, because, like, blue has generally had the frost effect of tap something down and it doesn't untap during the next untap step. Mm-hmm. In D&D, white dragons are the ones that are aligned with frost. Blue dragons are aligned with lightning. And so the white dragon is the one that when it enters the battlefield, you tap something it doesn't untap during the next untap step.
It's real weird because in Magic, red is lightning.
Exactly, because then you point out that the blue dragon has lightning breath, but then you're right, lightning bolt is a red card.
And also the blue dragon is the desert doom, which is interesting to me.
It's kind of where they live. But yeah, so it's kind of cool to see like these abilities that we have associated with colors kind of being bent a little bit to fit D&D's flavor.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I've really got on it. I think the reason I love this set so much, it's because I think this was a top-down design set, just like Innistrad was. And I love Innistrad, because flavor is my thing. And this set is filled with flavor.
You could at least 31. At least 31 flavors.
Really? A Baskin-Robbins joke, huh? The Dr. Pepper can with 23 flavors is sitting right there.
Yeah, but we're not sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
So we're sponsored by Baskin-Robbins?
No, not necessarily.
Are they even still around? Yeah. Oh, well. Yo, Baskin-Robbins, sponsor us.
Name a flavor after us. Garbage
Andy is trying to get Taco Bell to sponsor him. Maybe we can get Baskin-Robbins. That's our new marketing campaign.
Just Baskin-Robbins.
Yeah.
Please sponsor us.
Give us Bushwhack Crunch.
We'll take our
don't tell people what the crunch is.
We'll take our most expensive cards and use them as spoons for ice cream as a promotion.
I'm not using Ghidorah as a spoon. How dare you insinuate?
Screw it. I'm going to use Blightsteel Colossus as a spoon.
No, well, it's going to be Bushwhack Crunch, and it's going to be mint ice cream filled with wood chips.
Oh, just the real version of that is just oats. It's just
awful. No, the real version has wood chips in it.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that's where we're going to cut this off before I make a fool of myself even more. Baskin-Robbins, get at us. I'm going to put Baskin-Robbins in the tag of this. In the tags for this video. But yeah, if you like what we do here, leave us a comment, leave us a sub, get us a sponsorship from Baskin-Robbins. Help get us to 420, because when we do, we're going to give away another Commander deck.
Yep. Totally normal Commander deck.
Weed. Anyway, I have been Tyler.
I'm Andrew.
And we will catch you all later. Peace.
Bye.